Hey guys, Mr. Riz here to help you out on the first part of the 226 activity, in which this one we're going to look at ownership. So in this whole activity, the whole 226 thing, we're going to try to examine the legal ways to use materials created by someone else, such as a Creative Commons and open source materials. So this is going to be really important, especially when we're looking at citing some information. We're also going to be looking at how we can enhance a program by adding a user interface. Then we're also going to explore the consequences of plagiarism and pirating. So creating original software. In this project, at the end of the lesson, you'll create a new piece. So not in this first part, but by the end of part 3, a new piece of software and a graphical user interface that allows the user to access the command line tools to explore the internet. So this would be a little bit different than Turtle graphics, but the command line prompts used in the majority of this course, TK Enter, which is another one, is a tool that can quickly produce user-friendly software similar to the software that you are used to seeing. So before we start creating the software, we need to look at some of the legal issues that exist for digital content creators. So first thing we're going to look at is ownership. So to demonstrate how easy it is to get digital material using the internet, we're going to find a button image that we're using, just using a certain image. So it does say, I want to make sure we do this. We want to make sure that it's a .gif format. So we're going to download the URL and we need to make sure that it's a .gif. So I'm just going to do like button.gif. Should be able to find something fairly easy here. Just wow, Peter Griffin and all these other things here. This old one looks pretty good to me. I'm going to just download it. Save image as. And there we go. It is a GIF, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that in my CSP folder. Oh, I want to name it button.gif. Okay. So next we're going to open up this this part here, which is the multi-factor authentication that we did back in 2.1.4. We can use this code here if we want to just go back and use it. If you have your own, that's completely fine to do that. And we're going to incorporate the code. So I'm going to split screen this here so you guys can see kind of the instructions on one side and then the code on the other side. Okay, so I'm not sure how much of this you can see here, but we're going to add this code before the we're going to add this code before the code that creates the login button. All right, and I'm just going to nice copy paste this over here. All right, so where is the login button? Frame login sticky, frame authority. Let's see, password button. Okay, here's the login button. Mine's on line 39. Oh, you know what? I need to fork this so I don't mess with the original one here. Okay, so I'm gonna just enter a couple times, paste that in. All right, so we got BT underscore image equals TK photo image file equal button image. BT image equal BT image dot subsample 1010 image equal BT image. All right, now if we try to run, I don't think this will work. Yeah, because it's looking for the button GIF. Remember on Ripple here, we need to go through and actually import that. So can we add the file here? Oh, it doesn't let me just import it like that. I'm going to click and drag that over then. So I'm going to find my file here, CSP, teacher, unit 2, 226. Lazy like this. Click and drag that button over. There we go. Hopefully now this works. We'll run that again. All right. The button should now be created with the default test that says login, which it does right here. A command to execute on the button click may be a background color or after you've used the keyword to use an image. Oh, wait. And after you add this keyword value pair and image to use. All right, so nothing pops up. Let me double check that where I got everything set up right. Let me pause here. Oh, I didn't read this right. So we weren't supposed to copy all of it over. We were supposed to copy part of it over. And you can see there's another part here, which should be, here we go. We got to add this to the login button creation here. So I'm going to X that out. And let's see, I'm just going to put in the login button here, comma, there we go, image. All right, now let's run this. Let's see if that works better. Okay, so you can kind of see, I'll try to make this a little bit larger again for you guys. I'll run this again. We made the button, instead of saying login, it has the image there too. And I'm sure if we mess around with some of these here, if I make these not 10 by 10, I'm sure 100 by 100, I'm sure that has to do with the pixel sizes. Actually, that made it smaller. Maybe it's actually too big or something like that. But we can change that and edit that around there. Trends again, 10 by 10. I wonder what 1 by 1 does. Does 1 by 1 make it real small, or does it make it bigger? I don't know exactly what that subsample does. Oh, one, okay. Maybe it must make it a fraction of itself. So 1, 1, there we go. And we got a big button there now. Okay, so we got that now. So when we run it, now after we click add this keyword, it uses the image. So we ran the program to make sure the button image has changed, which it has. We might want to make sure that the image file was saved in your same directory. So just make sure that it's in that same folder like we had to go through. So let's go back to see if we can find out who the button belongs to and did we have permission to use that. So we just took this button like straight off the image or internet, didn't we? And we have no idea whether that is like an image of somebody's own personal use, something that they created, or if it's a free use image. So we're going to consider the following scenario to help us. You created a software program that you wanted to make it look more appealing. So you want to improve the way it looks here. So what you want to do is you found a button image on the internet to make your GUI look better. You've improved the way it looks to your software using the images that you found on the internet. You then sold your software and you're now being sued for copyright infringement. So according to copyright.gov, using an image without permission means you might face damages up to $150,000 or even more in the event that the copyright owner can prove that you made more than the base off of the use of their images. In this situation, what might have you done differently to avoid these consequences? So if you wanted to go through and use this program again and to use this button image, what could you have done differently? There are free to use images that are out there. I mean, we can Google free to use images, and there is a whole library of just free images and pictures that you can use. So maybe you want to use one of those. So these are basically like open source images, and there's always a lot of memes based off of those ones too, because people will find them and just make memes out of them. The other thing too, you could have just cited it, give that guy credit for that image. So a lot of different things you guys could have done too, and we'll probably have a discussion in class because I'm sure there's more than one thing we didn't think about there. So it doesn't always make sense to recreate the wheel. People often like to share what they've done with others so other people can work creatively. They can work together on it and repurpose the work. So Creative Commons licenses exist for this purpose, to help creatives share their work with a broader audience by allowing a free repurpose of their creations. So people allow people to be like, hey, I like my work. Go ahead, take this work, use it on your own, expand it, make it better than what I have. So there are 6 different types of Creative Commons license enabled the free distribution of work. So each license specifies when and how someone's work can be copied, distributed, edited, remixed, and or built upon. So next what we're going to do is we're going to use the internet to find and restate them in our own words, these 6 different Creative Commons licensures here. And so you might want to go ahead and go ahead and Google Creative Commons, and then maybe we'll like CC BY, just something like that to help us out. So you can see there's the creativecommons.org. That's probably going to be your most useful resource on here, but it isn't going to be the quickest one out there for you. And so you can go through here and, you can share your work. What do we need to do? You might want to go through and maybe look at about the licenses. Is this the better one? License design. So rationale, let's see. I did find, okay. Yep, this is the website. It just doesn't work good on when it's split screen. So you can see there's different ones here. So licenses, BCBY or CCBY. This license lets others distribute, remix, adapt, and build upon their own work, even commercially, as long as they credit you for the original content. This is the most accommodating licenses offered, recommended for maximum dissemination and the use of materials. All right, so I'm getting mixed up with some other letters that we hear. CCBYSA, which is like attribution and share alike. These licenses let others remix, adapt, build upon your work, even for commercial purposes. So very similar to that, as long as they credit you with their own license under the identical terms. So this license compared the copyleft free and open source softwares. All new works based on you will carry the same license, so any derivatives will also allow for commercial use. This license used by Wikipedia, and it recommends the materials that are built upon. So basically, what I want you guys to do is try to go through each one of these and write your own version of this. You might go ahead and you might actually have to find some other things too, like CCBY versus I found a couple good, like if just Google searching like images too, these usually might give you some like information here of what you can and cannot do. You can see like this one here, just opening it up, does kind of go through, okay, we got the public domain, which, is basically open for anything. And then you can see here, like, what does everything get covered here? So like, this SA is just like the BY, basically meaning you can do anything to it except for change its license. All right, this one ND means you can do everything to it except for you cannot modify and adapt it. And you can go through each one of these, and some of these I'm more of a visual person like that. That kind of helps me out. But to take a second here, I'm going to make you guys do the research there. Try to find those out and fill out this form here. Just a short description between them. And if you want to say like, especially like the difference between, if you do a good description of the BY, just explain that the BYSA is the same thing, except for it doesn't allow, the one thing it doesn't allow. Okay, so we got a couple questions here. We're going to answer this one to the best ability. So if you guys want to pause the video, complete that, and then I will help you answer the quiz questions here. Okay, quiz questions. Here we go. You are looking for a code that you can use to help you make a user interface. You plan on selling your software that uses the interface commercially. Which license will let you do that? The one that will allow you to use this and sell commercially would be the BYND. And maybe going back to some of these other images here, especially that one chart. Where did I have that? You might be able to look at this chart here and go through that a little bit better. So commercial use, only the BYND, BYSA, and the BY are the only ones that allow for commercial use. So not the NCSA or there we go. Okay, next question here. I'm going to leave this chart up because I think that will help us out as well. Okay, you are working on a piece of software and want to present the end product as an entirely original work without crediting any other sources. From which of the following licenses could you include source code without creating the original authors? All right, so which one of these here on our list doesn't allow us to credit the original author? Well, it looks like every single one of these here, we'd have like the CCBYND. Okay, we'd have to do some type of credit. Everything's on here. The only one that I don't see on here is the CCO. And you probably can guess that one here is the Freedom 0. So that basically has the freedom work. It's completely open. So There we go. That one's like public domain information. And last one here. You are creating a piece of software and includes some code that you found in a project that was licensed under the CC BY-ND, which is right here. So can copy and publish. Attribution required. Commercial use is good. You cannot modify and adapt it, but you can change the license. All right, you want to share your software source code with the world. Which of the following is true? The adapted code must attribute the original author of the code that is included. Okay, that sounds kind of like it is required there. You can share the adapted source code with the rest of the community. Can you adapt it here? But with a piece, okay, can adapt it. So it's not that one here. You are prohibited from selling your new software. We got a CCBYND. Well, it does say for commercial use, but the one thing that is true is that we must attribute, and that's pretty much it. You think about like English papers. If you ever take anything from somebody, you're going to have to cite it. So that one is true. So let's submit the quiz. I got a couple blank because they are essay questions. And just make sure we got those last part right. All right, yep, those got to be hand graded. Oh, no, this one here. Yep, there we go. We used the right one, the open source one, and yes. Now, I'd probably say it does seem like you are prohibited from selling. It would actually, no, it says you are prohibited from selling. No, that is incorrect because we do have commercial use. I thought it said you. Hello. Oh, okay. So I know some of this stuff can get kind of tricky. We are kind of going into, in this section here, a lot of the little different things, little nuances that you have to worry about with computer science, which isn't always just sitting down and computer programming. You got to be aware of the other things that are out there. So just kind of taking a step back from our normal stuff. All right, guys, we got an in-class activity that we're going to do tomorrow, and then one more part on this section here. You guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.